Okay guys, Walt from walt&mel back to the Philippines. Share and subscribe if this helps you any. I've got a park car. The year on, I think it's 2014 batteries in it. And it's not moving. It clicks. I hear the solenoids kicking in, clicking, but it's still not moving. And I'm going to run some tests on it, and I'll take you along and let you see what I'm doing. And we'll see if it pays off in the end. I've been looking at some of these videos. Some of them are okay, but it didn't help me. I had to figure this out on myself. Okay, let's get started. Okay, I'm going to give a little quick look at what I'm working with here. It's a 48 volt system. So it's got 6 volts in it. And back there is where you can see the solenoids. Like I said, that one is the main solenoid. It's clicking. These two are forward and reverse. Again, this is a 2000 power car. A lot of the cars you don't have to do that. That little thing in the corner there, that's the brain. Hopefully we don't have to mess with that. But what we're going to do is start out testing just to see if we got voltage going through our batteries. And then we're going to check and see if we got continuity going to our solenoids, because the thing with the solenoids is they're just a winding of wire, and if any of that wire is broken, then the solenoid's not going to work. But with this particular golf cart, I could sit in it and play with the pedal and keep pushing and pushing, off and on, off and on, off and on, and then it'll eventually take off. And the main solenoid is clicking. That's the big throw off. It's the main solenoid is clicking, so it should be working. Okay, let's test some voltages and see what's happening. Okay, this is actually going to be the hot end of your batteries. This is where you should get the most voltage. It usually is on the same side as your little computer brain, and also your solenoids. So I'm going to drop this to voltage. Now this is a cheap multimeter, and I can't apologize for that because my good one is in the Philippines. Now if you come and jump across here, hopefully you're getting 48 volts. If you connect the positive to the positive and the negative to the negative. And I'm pulling around 50. I know you can't see that, but I'm pulling right at 50 DC volts. So I know that's good. So my next check is going to be, I'm going to switch over. Well, before I switch over, let's go ahead and take a check on the solenoid and see if the power is going there. And we do have 50 voltage, 50 DC voltage, so we're doing good. Now, I'm going to switch it over to just, if I can figure out how to use this cheap thing, we'll just switch it over to continuity. Now when you touch, and I'm going to show you this a little better when I get back in the shop. But if you touch the front and the back, you should show continuity. And I'm not showing any continuity. So it tells me that there's a little burn in that copper somewhere. Now there's other ways of doing this. Let me see if I can keep you looking at me here. Other ways of doing this, but I'll talk to you about that too, but let's check the forward and reverse. And I've got continuity on the reverse. And I've got continuity on the forward. So it would be my guess that the forward and reverse are working. I'm pushing close to 48 volts. It's clicking, which means it should be working, but it's not. So what are we going to do? Call Ghostbusters. Let's see if we can get this thing straightened out. What we're going to do is go back to the shop and show you some things in there as far as testing what I just did as far as the continuity. Now there's another thing you could do. You could go from the negative on the ground of the power batteries down there and put it to the positive on the solenoid and push the pedal. But you know, it's not going to do any good because that solenoid is clicking in. So that's not the problem. So let's go back and show some things on the solenoid I just bought and go from there. Okay, we're back in the shop now. And what we're going to do is check the continuity on the one I just bought. And see when we touch across the coil, we have a really good reading on continuity. It's sitting around 150 or so. So it's doing good. Of course, we're not going to have anything on the voltage because the voltage, there's nothing hooked up to it. So basically what that's telling me is that that thing is bad. Even though you hear it clicking, it's not working, which is, you know, you guys, I called and checked different places, and I had one clown that told me that, oh, your batteries are, it's your batteries. It's not, why are you even thinking about changing your solenoids? It's your batteries. Well, the batteries are, you're talking over $1,000 to replace all the batteries. So no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and troubleshoot it myself. And I called another one that said, okay, yeah, you can bring the solenoids in, we'll test them. But I got 15 golf carts waiting to be worked on. So you got to pay. And I said, okay, so how much you want me to pay to have my solenoids tested? And he told me $20. And I said, okay, that's not a problem. And I really just didn't want to talk to him anymore. So we ended that conversation. So you can go to YouTube and you can see a lot of different videos about testing solenoids. But the end result is when the solenoid is not working, when you get on and it click, 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 and then you go, then when you don't go is when you want to test it. And that's what we did tonight. We tested it when we weren't moving, and we went ahead and jumped it across the wiring that's wrapped around inside the solenoid. If you took the solenoid apart, it would have winding inside, and that has to be making complete contact. If it's not making complete contact, you're not going to get that reading, and we're not getting that reading. So tomorrow, what I'm going to do tonight is put that thing on charge. It's already showing 48 volts, but it should be showing over 48 volts, maybe 50 or whatever. My gauge is showing that it's half empty, so we're going to go from there. Okay guys, we'll pick this up again tomorrow when I replace the solenoid and see if it works. Hopefully it's helping you. Bye. Okay, we're back out here at the scene. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be removing the solenoid you see right there in the middle of your picture, just above where charger plugs in. What I'm going to try to do is in the back, there's 5/16 bolts that hold that in, which are very hard to get to, so give you a hint on that. Of course, you got to realize I'm working with no tools. They're all in the Philippines, and I'm digging around through drawers and finding what I can find to work on. So what I'm going to do is try to pull that out first, and then get the other one, slide the other one in back behind it. The reason for that being is I would like to disconnect the wires from the solenoid and then hook them right to where they go on the new solenoid. If I can do that, I know I'm not screwing up, but I've already taken pictures, so I can go by the pictures also. Okay guys, let's put this thing on the tripod and get started. Okay, I've got the power disconnected, so there's nothing live going to it right now. I'm going to pull that 5/16 out on this side. You only have to pull one of them out and loosen the other one. I've already had loosened the other one. I'm sure this is going to fall. It's a very tight squeeze. And that slid over as far as it wants to go. Okay. And there's a little devil right there. Set that up here in my nut and screw tray. And I should be able to just slide this over, pull it out. But I can see right now I'm going to have to disconnect wires because it's not going to fit. So I'm going to start out. I used to have a bunch of tools just for electronics. And you say, well, that one seems to be working. Well, the difference is they would have rubber handles. Make it a lot easier in case you bumped up against something that was ground when you're working on positive, then you wouldn't fry yourself. See, that has a lock washer on it. Try to save that. even though I shouldn't need it. It should be ready to come off. We'll kind of do our best to keep them on the same side. I was kind of hoping to get this out before I had to take the nuts and screws off, because it's a tight fit in there. And like I said, I don't have the right tools to be playing with it. Look at that, I took off 2 without losing any. Okay. Okay, and that one goes with that one. That's around. And that one goes with that one. So there's 3 of those. Okay. Yeah, it looks like the other 2, just 1 and 1. And the problem I've got here is I do not have that size wrench. It's probably somewhere in the Philippines. So we're just going to do it I didn't try that 5/16, but I don't think it's going to fit. It's too small. And you don't think they would put 2 of the same size nuts to make life easier on you. So I'm starting with the hardest one, so well, I'm going to have to see if I can get something to break that loose where I don't tear everything up. I'm going to shut you down for a while and come back. Okay guys, I was trying to get you see what's going on in this meter, but because this isn't going to work. Can't get the lighting just right and get you to see. But what I wanted to show you was, this is the old one I took out. And you notice it's got the 2 points going across here, front and back. Now when you put your meter across that, you should show continuity. I'm not showing any continuity at all on that. That's the old one. We'll take the new one. I don't know why I'm bothering. You can't see the meter, but now we have continuity on the new one. And what that's telling me is that this has a coil inside. It's a coil of wire that runs all the way up and makes its connections. If that coil is broken, or it's got a break in it, it's not making connection up top. So therefore it is a bad coil. The reason why I'm emphasizing that is I tested it once already, and it was showing that it was good. That was a couple weeks ago. When I would go across the front and the back, it would show that it was good and making a complete circuit. But it also, when you turn the key on and you push on the pedal, you'd hear a click in the solenoid. And the solenoid is jumping up, making contact, and that's what that click is. Okay, the click was always there, and I just would sit there and play with the pedal until it would finally decide to take off. Now, I guarantee if I put it on there, there's no click. but I didn't test it until I took it off. Just before I took it off, I tested it, because I think I showed this at the beginning of the video, and I think it was showing continuity even then, but now it's not. So let's get back to work. Put this thing back on. You can hear it's a beautiful, rainy, gloomy day outside. That's all it's good for, is doing some work. Okay, here goes the final view. Not the final, but the final view anyway. You can see I got the new solenoid put in there. And take those pictures, guys. This wiring really helps. Took that wiring back up again. And it should work now. We're going to find out the final test. Get inside and put it together. Okay, here we go for the test. Keys in. We're in forward. Let's see if it moves. Uh-oh. We have ignition, Houston. Yes. We're driving. It's too damn cold out here to drive far, though. I think we might have it fixed. I've always really liked this park car because it's got that second gear in it, and it's really quick. I mean, I could break the speed limit here in the park. Okay, guys. Seems to be it. We'll just go and park this thing and do a little cleanup on it because it's been sitting for a while. But other than that, and my flags, my wife's got out here with her grass, which I don't want to run over, but I have no choice to get back in. Look at that. Reverse works fine. Everything works fine. Talk to you guys later. Hopefully this is going to help you. Okay guys, we're finished with that little project. Golf cart's running good. This is about a day or two later, and Mel's taking it out. She's had no problems. I've messed with it, no problems. Everything's working good and fixed to an easy problem, really. It wasn't easy at first because, first of all, I'm retired, so for me to do any jobs around this house anymore, instead of taking an hour, it's taking me days, because when I get around to feel like doing it, I'll go out there and work on it. And I didn't feel like working on this, so I didn't work on it. But it was the solenoid, but I had the problem of trying to figure out which solenoid it was. That's why I was talking about in the video, taking them down and getting them tested. Because, like I said, my meter that I really like is in the Philippines for doing electrical work. I bought this cheap thing for 20 bucks or 15 bucks, you know, something like that. And it's about what it's worth. I mean, it's very bad. Normally, when I would show you how to jump across to check for continuity, you'd hear a beep. With this one, you don't even hear a beep. But back to the bright side, it's working. The other side is when somebody tells you, oh, if it's clicking, it's okay. It's going to run. If it's clicking, it's got to be something else. Wrong. If it's whatever it could be, it's your batteries. So you need to replace your batteries. Wrong. Just on and on and on. And so if you don't have a good meter and you don't have the time, or in my case sometimes the patience, to fix something like this all the time, then you're going to run into a little bit of problems. But hey, it's done. We're finished. It's on to the next project. I'll see you, because I do have, like I said, we're getting ready to sell this house, so all this stuff's got to be fixed. It's not much. The house is in good shape, but it's got to be fixed anyway. Some of it already has, and I'll show you that maybe in another video. But for now, this is Walt from Mel and Walt back to the Philippines. Share, like, and above all, subscribe. We'll catch you next time. Bye.